Hey, what's up, you 40K fanatics? We're back at it again.
Did you see the warp anomaly that popped up in your feed, everyone?
Ooh, yeah, the warp anomaly.
So that's a new thing we're trying out, where mostly sometimes the homie Austin, are going to go out and find people and talk about other games, not just 40K, because it's my belief, because this is how it is for me, that a lot of you 40K players dabble in other stuff as well.
Filthy casuals, all of them.
Every single one of them. Me too.
They're not fanatics.
No, well, they can be. You can be both. 40K's got a lot going on, but it doesn't have to be all things to all people all the time.
If you really think about it, anything could be 40K.
That's true. I mean, sometimes we bust out some 40K models to proxy in some of these more off-the-wall games that I've been dabbling in as well. But I feel like the D&D is a good spot to have crossover.
And remember, guys, 40K did start out as a more of a role-playing game. And, if you really want to lore it up, just use the same rule I do. Well, this one does. Hey, this Space Marine chapter looks funny. Are you sure they're not from a Trader Primarch? Well, this one isn't. So just, play it the way you want to play it, dude.
Yeah, I like that. The homie Connor did a good job, I thought, of giving his thoughts about the new 2024 Player's Handbook, and you can check that out. But it also hasn't cost you anything. That's just extra content for your ear holes. Your ear holes are in disrepair right now.
Oh, yeah. I have a bad ear infection, folks. It's pretty bad. But I'm getting through it. I'm going on day 3, I think. You
don't listen to me anyway, so it'll be fine.
I was about to say, we were always talking about you guys love the sound of Shane's voice anyway, so go ahead, click play, like and subscribe to all of our Warp Anomalies that will be coming out. We're going to be doing a lot, hopefully, in the future.
Yeah, no particular date or regularity to the Warp Anomalies, just whenever we get them. However, you will know that if you see a Warp Anomaly, don't worry. A regular, comfortable blanket of 40K Fanatics podcast episode is coming right on schedule.
Oh, yeah. Today is October 30th. We are one day away from, Halloween. Big here in the States.
Woo!
And Shane has recently played a spooky-style board game that he's been talking about.
Yeah, one of our local community members reached out, having heard me talk about Don't Look Back by Blacksite Studios, written by Matt Burns. It is an 80s slasher horror movie tabletop miniatures game. And the homie Austin came up here earlier today, and we played one of the mini expansions for the game. This was called Gourd Reaper 1, and when you buy them, they come in a VHS case with a little bit of background and fun like that. And we managed to survive all the kids, because it's usually a bunch of, teenagers and adolescents, right, up to no good. Succeeded in smashing all 3 haunted jack-o'-lanterns and banishing the Gourd Reaper back to the ethereal plane before he chopped them all into little bits.
And I used to watch Pumpkinhead all the time when I was younger. I don't know. I guess I went through a phase. And it really appeals to me, the whole jack-o'-lantern style of like Halloween. It's better to me than the soul, let's just destroy people's minds with serial killers, ghosts, and haunting, creepy, gory stuff. It's more Halloween-y than I like.
Yeah, and in Don't Look Back, there's all sorts of different killers in the various expansions and in the core rulebook that you can sort of make your own. You can come up with whatever you want, or
which in fact you can now.
Yes, or you can just draw them at random. So you don't even know what you're up against until the killer first appears. But that may be a good Warp Anomaly thing, because a while back, Austin and I got on and chopped it up about game design a little bit, and what we like, what we don't like, what's changed, what hasn't in 40K. And then we use that to bridge to our attempt at making an Alien game, which the homie Matt Burns of Blacksite Studios has also made. It's called Violent Dark, and that book just came in today,
Ooh.
And it looks so much fun. I told Austin today while we were playing the Don't Look Back, talking a bit about the Alien style, sort of legally distinct Alien game. So that's what I'll just call it. But it's called Violent Dark. You can check it out on their website, and I recommend it. But I said, man, If we had messed with our game idea for 6 months, we probably would have came up with this exactly.
Yeah.
And
in fact, you've talked about this like so much. I actually went and watched all the first 3 Alien movies back to back this week.
the third one is rough, isn't it?
Yeah, God, I hate that third one.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. You know, it's because it came out in the 90s.
Now, it's not the one where she plays basketball. That's the one right after.
That's the good one.
No,
yeah, that's the one.
No, it isn't.
Well, no, I mean, it's not the good one, but it's better than the third one.
Well, yeah, because the
second one was top tier.
The third one is the one with the alien dogs, and the whole entire thing is brown.
Oh, gosh.
The entire
whole
movie
thing
is brown.
Like a filter or something, but it's not even a filter.
It's terrible.
Oh, gosh, dude. It was rough. There are a lot of celebrities on that from the UK that I did not remember. Like Tywin Lannister, the guy they say that looks like Lionel Johnson, he's in the third movie.
My favorite one, and it's not even close, is the first one, because I like how it is not an action movie. Yes. It is not trying to be an action movie, and I really like that.
It's not even necessarily trying to be a horror movie, is it? The first one?
No, I think it's trying to be a horror movie.
It's more trying to be like
it's heckin' scary.
Sci-fi to me, honestly.
Well, it's both. I mean, it's sci-fi horror. It was, to my knowledge, the first one to do space horror, and
made me fall in love with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, and then in Aliens, the second one, I felt like that is much more just an action movie.
Gosh, Bill Paxton.
Very silly.
They're all over us, man. But, yeah, man, I love Sigourney Weaver. Like, I'd have a hard time walking past her and keeping my cool. Because she bad.
It's Halloween, and it's the very last chance for an Orktober story. What do you have to teach us about the orcs, Casey?
So, with this new Orktober coming up, or going through, I guess is what a better terminology.
Over with by the time the people get this pod.
Fair. With Orktober of 2024 coming to a close, I did a new mini that you guys should have seen on the Whip Wednesday, or maybe like early week issue on the X, on the Instagram, anywhere. I painted up a blood axe knob. Somebody had recently gifted me a knob with Wabbanner, and I decided, you know what, I never paint anything other than maybe a Goth or a Bad Moon, and in some case a little bit of blue for the desk hulls, but I was like, let's do some blood axes, you know? The guys who rip off the Cadians and pretend to march in lines and use commandos, but it's orky, so it's all goofy, you know?
He looks really good.
Dilute Tenant. Inspired by one of the recent books that I have listened, audiobooks I've listened to about orcs trying to get in a little bit of a wacky racist style of breaking into a hive world and finding a Eldar portal. A guy named the General, who is the war boss of the Blood Axes in one of the factions that is racing to the finish line, needs to promote a new knob to his major, or, you know, his colonel. And he says, well, now, why do all of you want to be called lieutenant? And then they all just kind of look away like they're embarrassed, but it's orcs, so how do orcs look embarrassed? You tell me that. And he says, hold on, do you all want to be the lieutenant because it's got loot in it? To which they said, yeah, boss.
Yeah, we likes the loot.
This won't do.
That's ridiculous. Open the bits box, I guess, because that's been your bits box this week, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Painting that guy. How long did he take you?
Honestly, it took me a Saturday afternoon. I didn't go to like my full standard. I used some new styles, and he was Forge World resin. Don't like Forge World resin. I had some bits and bobs laying around. Never worked with pigment paint before, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try this. So
what's he going to proxy as? Is he going to be like nothing?
No,
you're not going to. Yeah. I mean, is he his own unit that is a thing, or what?
Well, he is a Legends unit now. That's the thing. So I was like, I have one of these. It's Legends now. I'm not going to use it anymore, but I already have one. So I was like, let's just make a nice little art piece for my desk. You know, my paint desk, something.
Yeah. See, I thought you were setting him up where he could be a stand-in for the commando leader guy.
Oh, Boss Snickrot?
Yeah.
But you know he's like my best painted orc. I got to use
well, he is, but you know, you can always have it.
Should I open the bits box?
Another one. Well, that's what I said.
Oh, okay, sorry. So now it's open. Yeah.
In my
Orktober.
bits box,
Yeah.
I've still been working on that Land Raider.
Really?
Also,
Oh, yeah. Check out the photos, guys. That thing looks sick.
yeah, it's looking good. I tell you what, it's coming along well. I got all the gold on it, and it really pops now. And I did my 2-pass gold recipe that I've been doing with these lovely Army Painter Fanatics range metallic paints, where I hit it with a bronze and then I hit it with the super bright gold, because the super bright gold does not cover anything. Okay. I don't know what it is about gold paint, but it won't cover anything by itself. But what I found is it will brighten up those bronze colors that cover so much better and give a beautiful depth to your gold. And I really, really like it. Also, I have no sympathy for people that talk about, I don't like to paint trim. Don't see how you play Chaos or Thousand Suns or whatever. Paint all that trim. That's a lot of trim. You know what? Get good. Get good, scrub. Because, man, I've painted so much trim at this point, I'm not even thinking about it. And it's going on quick and clean. So once I put all the gold on, I had an idea that I was going to...
I've noticed, I would have to interrupt. Your gold is very interesting, by the way. Like, which one do you use?
Well, I use those Army Painter Fanatics gold. I got the box that has all of them.
Yeah.
Right? Not the entire Fanatics range. That's expensive.
Because you sat down and you were like, this is the gold. I remember that day.
Yeah, because what happened is I was using a few different golds, but with gold paint, you can get a lot of directionality, I'm going to say, with the gold flakes in there. And it happens with other metallic paints too, but I feel like gold, because I guess the carrier paint color is so translucent, right? Or transparent, I guess I should say. It sort of doesn't color the thing you're painting as much as it just puts the gold flakes over it. And then what you get is you get this grain. So if you brushed across, then at a certain angle, you get gold. At the other angle, you get nothing.
Yeah.
And that is obnoxious.
It is.
And so what I found was putting a color underneath works really good, and putting a metallic color especially that covers well. Like, I find the coppers covered great. Silvers probably cover better than anything because they're gray and in their base. And then the coppers are more brown, and they tend to cover really well, especially in these Fanatic ranges. And then when I put the gold over that, there's 2 golds in the set, and one of them covers pretty well, and you could just use it, but it's a little duller than I like. But just going over with the, over the bronze / copper with the super gold tends to bring it up to where I want it. And for whatever reason, these Army Painter Fanatics paint metallics don't do as much of that graining.
Boy, that red pops.
Yeah, and then I went loud on some colors. See, I thought about doing a weathering pass on the thing, but as I've gotten it more and more done, and now the gold is on there, it looks pristine, and I'm thinking that it's going to be just a fresh off the lot model, because I did use some dirty down rust. I did put some patina in some particular places, but they're almost more like the sort of demonic influence in the machinery rather than just dirt and grime as much as anything else.
Sort of like it's the machine with some demonic rather than the demon is the majority of the thing.
Yeah. So the idea that I'm thinking with it is that the Chaos machines just spurt oil and degrade, like, as soon as you put them together. As soon as you turn them on, they're smoking and hissing, and
the machine spirits are not happy.
Yeah, they're never happy, but they're happy to exist, and they're raring to go. There is one problem with it, and I'll show it to you when we get done with the pod, and maybe I'll take a close picture of it so that the people can see what I'm talking about. But I did a lot of airbrushing on this thing, and that's why I think it's turned out looking so clean and interesting.
I love what you did there.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of gray, and all of those gray chunks of panel, which give it a nice depth of color all across it, rather than just being a matte black thing. I tuned with black, I primed it black, sprayed the gray, sprayed the black again around the gray, in various spots to get it exactly like I would like.
Yeah.
And then when I went to paint the little heckin' spindles on the spikes with white so they would take a brown, I got some little splatters.
Oh, no.
And it's the only thing I can see on the top of the damn tank. So I think I'm going to have to tape off some spots and just airbrush gray and black on my otherwise wholly finished model. And that's going to be stressful. However, I think I can do it because at this stage I've gotten pretty darn slick with my airbrushing.
Right. You put in the time, might as well.
Yeah, I think I can do it. Like, I think I can hit
right.
it. The other thing I did last night, I worked on some Seekers of Slanesh, finishing them up. And then I did the entirety of the standard equipment box for the new version of Kill Team. Also got the mission deck in for that and ready to try it out.
Yeah, I'm looking at the equipment pack Kill Team upgrade set right here on Shane's paint table.
Got them all done in one sitting, and they look good. I was spraying metallics through my primer airbrush, my cheap primer airbrush that I've told everybody about that they need to get. It could be that I end up needing to retire that airbrush to metallic airbrush and buy another to be primer airbrush because as of last night, after quite a bit of cleaning, it's spraying glitter on everything.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
So we're going to see how that progresses.
Oh, no, you ran.
But that is my bits box.
To finish off my bits box, I've just been, working for Orktober, getting us going. Just planning on what I have for you today, and painting some Blood Angels, but nothing out of the ordinary. Just that. I hope you guys liked Dilute Tenant. He's going to be sitting on my desk for like ever probably now. And so if you're ready, I'll close the bits box.
Close it. You pitched this topic today. Go ahead and let the people know what we are doing.
We're talking about 11th edition and the Emperor's Children coming out. Rumors, leaks, and more.
Yeah, you say rumors, leaks, and more.
Yes.
Where'd you find this story?
So recently, it being October, we had Warhammer Day.
Yeah.
Big day. Well, 40K, or not 40K, Games Workshop went live and did their live stream on their socials and Twitch and everything, where they would talk about updates for 40K, Age of Sigmar, Legions Imperialis, Kill Team, and I think one other thing. What was it called? Underworlds?
Yeah.
Well, they revealed quite a few things, and at the end, they had just a little tidbit, and it was leaked and unconfirmed that this was going to lead to a new Emperor's Children update later, to be confirmed by Games Workshop.
Sure, an Emperor's Children Codex supplement, probably.
Yes. We did get an index for them recently.
Well,
it was, which I couldn't really actually pull up. I tried.
It was nothing.
It was basically nothing.
Yeah, it was a total miss. In fact, the index that we were given was not. I mean, it was. I don't even think they called it a detachment, but the detachment was that. Let me see if I get it right.
It was unimpressive.
I'm doing it from memory.
Yeah,
I believe Noise Marines were battle line. You had to have Lucis the Eternal as your warlord, and then you just pick a detachment rule from the Chaos Space Marines book. It was not an army of any sort, and it was pitiful. It didn't have its own stratagems, nothing. Totally ridiculous. But yeah, you mentioned 11th edition, and I went and found the Spiky Bits article that you referenced, that you saw this in, and I have to say, that is the most wildly speculative bunch of nonsense that I have ever read across. First of all, it says that
he's flabbergasted with how awesome this is.
No, because it's ridiculous.
Come on.
You know what? Here's the thing, okay? Forget what the Spiky Bits article says. You guys can go read it if you want. I don't think you should bother. But this whole 11th edition coming soon thing,
2026,
is a tryhard's pipe dream. All right? It is a bit of wishful thinking from people who got into 10th or have been playing 10th, and they're upset that the armies that they happen to own were not Aldari. And they're hoping that, well, if they reset again on 11th, maybe my stuff will be super duper busted. All right. I was just listening to a Tabletop Tactics podcast episode, and they were doing a wish list for 11th edition. And they said the same thing that I want, which is, one, I don't want to see a new edition for quite some time. I think they're just now getting this one hammered out.
Fair.
We don't want a full new edition. We don't want them to throw this thing away so that they can then give us another edition to then need another 60 pages of FAQ and errata to fix.
Yeah, it seems like they're still kind of play testing some things in 10th, to be honest.
Well, but also, I think 10th is in a really good spot. I think the way that we have army rules and detachment rules...
It's finally balancing out.
I don't know if it's balancing out, but I think that... I said this stuff, if you go back and listen to the Warp Anomaly from earlier in the week about the new 2024 Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons, I believe what they've done is created a basis, a foundation to build upon, to attach stuff to. And I think that is also what we've got with 40K, because when the Spiky Bits article talks about that all the editions last 3 years, it's like, well, not really. Because 9th edition was an expansion of 8th edition, which was still using codexes, if I'm not mistaken, from 7th.
That is a good point.
Wasn't it 7th that everything was indexed?
I wasn't really around for 7th.
I wasn't either.
But for like everything from 8th to 9th, it was very kind of swept over.
Yeah, because people were still running with, I believe, 8th edition codexes, at least 8th edition codexes, for the majority of 9th, and then they all came out bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Look, the rate that they've been releasing codexes just this year,
it's been phenomenal.
But also I don't think Games Workshop even intends to continue that pace because
that's true.
Because they just hit the brakes back in August, September, and we're like, nothing else for the end of the year. And that's good because look, they know how people do this stuff. They know how people buy stuff.
Yeah.
A book comes out, some people in competitive teams put the cheese together, and then people go and they buy the cheese and they get the cheese and then they build the cheese and they play the cheese for a little bit. That's right. But there's like a lead time that is required for people because ultimately Games Workshop is only but so worried about selling games and books.
Yeah.
They sell plastic. You know how damn cheap plastic is to them compared to books? Books are expensive. All right?
And
no disrespect to books.
And I will say that also puts forward a point to me why I think The Emperor's Children will be coming out.
Oh, I think The Emperor's Children are coming out.
Oh, okay.
I just don't think that they're going to be the last codex 2 weeks before
I see what you're saying. Before
10th edition ends. That's ridiculous. Yes. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think what happened is the wave started to crest. Mm-hmm. 40K as a IP, as a hobby, as a thing in the cultural zeitgeist, began to pick up a lot of steam, and then everybody that was trying to get into the game had to come up to speed of this moving train of 9th edition, which also was 8th edition, and believe me, I did it. It wasn't any fun. Now we've had a reset. Now we've got some amount of codexes and indexes and a game that is a little bit simpler to get your head around, but no, I don't think that we're going to be 2026 or Christmas 25 or anything like that out here getting talked about 11th edition. What I could see is like a 10.5 where they codify all the FAQs and erratas and maybe give us back our restrictions in list building and our resolution list building. That's what I'd like to see is some paid war gear so that you can actually fill out those last 25 points in a list. Yeah, and so that you could then have some options, because right now, if I'm looking down on my sprue of dudes and I see there's a melta gun and a plasma gun, you know what is never, ever, ever getting attached to some arms? the plasma gun because the melta gun's the same price.
Yeah.
Why would I?
And I missed things like kitting my war boss out with the Killer Claw or the dead shiny shooter, and then I would paint up my war boss or whatever in that way and kit bash him with cool pieces, and then I'd go out and be like, this is that. It looks so dope. And now we're in kind of a 10th, and it's fine. You do have enhancements, but they're not really. You're not really. What's the word I'm looking for?
They're
personal.
Well, yeah, exactly. And
personal.
And, it makes every unit samey same.
Yeah.
Like, they give you all these weapon options for stuff, and it's just like, well, I'm just going to take 4 las cannons because they're better than the other stuff. And that's ridiculous because it makes, I'll just
talk for your pro players and the casuals.
Well, I'll just talk about the units that I know because I know the whole range, but like your Chaos Space Marine Havocs, they can take 4 of whatever you want. It's like, well, who's not taking 4 las cannons?
Yeah.
For the exact same points, you could take 4 flamers or 4, what do they have? Reaper autocannons, which is a bunch of shots, but good luck ever harming these tanks, which is the other thing that I think we'll see in like a 10-5 sort of thing. I mean, because also, we just had a meaningful change when the Leviathan deck turned into the Pry Nexus deck, because now, that really flipped up the whole way that you play. But I would like them to go to some force organization where you have to have X amount of different types of units, because we still have enough keywords to make that work, right? Obviously it's not going to be called troops, elites, fast attack, but it can be whatever you want to call it. Because right now we're in a situation where the armies don't look like armies. Guards out here playing with oops all tanks every single time. Not a solitary guardsman in sight.
And then you're going up against Space Marine players who are running like 3 Land Raiders.
Yeah. You're playing against Space Marines with no Space Marines around.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And maybe Gilliman.
It's silly.
That's it.
But with that out of the way, and I mean, at me, Spiky Bits. Yeah. I dare you.
We've also
I'm not sure that article wasn't written by AI, because it just sort of droned on and repeated itself over and over.
I will agree with you there. It did kind of. Unlike Shane, I do not get very much into things that are long and drawn out. Live streams of more than an hour. Things like that. I have a short attention span, folks. It's ADHD, creativity, whatever you want to call it. I have it, and it is in my bones. Do I cope with it? Yeah. But I still cannot focus to save my life. Ask my boss at work. Okay? But I would read through this article, and I'd be like, okay, they've said that. Looks like they're continuing to say that. And they were a little bit artful, but I'm like, where's the meat? Where's the punch?
Well, that's what happens when you're just talking nonsense.
Yeah.
And I hope that the comments will get in here and talk about how often we talk nonsense. And that's right. Also,
but I think they do a good job. I will say that.
I suppose. I feel like they try to act like a news organization, and I don't think they have a whole lot of credibility.
I've also
whatsoever.
looked at other sources like Chapter Master Valrak, who's got a pretty decent show. I can only watch him like at spurts of a time, because I cannot watch something that is over an hour long. Come on.
Well, let's get into the main part of that article, though, because it is worth talking about, and I think it's going to be fun to discuss. The scheduling of 11th. No. Oh. No, we just talked about that.
Well, I didn't.
Okay, well, what are your thoughts on the scheduling of 11th?
So here's the thing, folks. If you look at the pattern, Games Workshop releases something every couple years. They did their paint ranges updating in 3 years. 2016, they expanded the paint line. They got contrast and 360 paints 3 years after that. And apparently that is, the Spiky Bits thing. And then you look at 40K. They updated 7th 2014, 8th edition to 17, 9th 2020, 10th 2023, and now we're looking at June 2026 for 11th. And with hopes that we need to think about who's going to be the big bad for 11th. And there's been a lot of rumors around lately about updates, about a lot of things, and it's kind of pointing towards Emperor's Children. So now we could talk about Emperor's Children. Are you happy, Shane?
No.
Well, you should be, because you're getting more chaos.
Because I think you're just loud wrong about this 11th edition.
Come on.
We set for like 6 months with indexes before we got a single codex.
Which is the same thing that happened with the World Eaters.
Are we really about... Yeah, I know. But again, I present to you that stuff was hurried. I think they would have rather ran 9th edition for another few years before they did that.
Shane's out here hating, folks. I'm sorry.
I just think it's I just think it's silly. Look, and I'm always happy to get new stuff. But every time we get new stuff, everybody gets mad. And I would rather
don't they get mad?
I would rather be a little more comfy with what we got for a while.
We also a lot of different hints. Like they did that small leak for the Emperor's Children during the live stream.
Well, let's talk about the Emperor's Children.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, because I agree that Emperor's Children are coming. I don't agree that they're going to hearken in 11th edition, but I do think they're coming. Number one, here's what I want to talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
I think this is what you want to talk about.
Okay,
too.
what?
You want to talk about what the heck is going to be in the Emperor's Children range.
I do.
Because right now, it's Noise Marines.
Noise Marines.
End of list.
Updated Legionaries, Lucius the Eternal, and Fulgrim.
Well, you just gave the whole a large amount of the entire list that I was going to
then talk
get into.
about. I'm excited for it. I'll talk about it all day.
I'm excited for it too. I was going to hold Fulgrim toward the last as we work up, but yes, Fulgrim is obviously coming out.
I mean, I was so on the fence if he was or not.
I can't believe you would be so naive.
Well, it's just that everyone remembers where they were on the day that Games Workshop said, look, a new Demon Primarch. Oh, he's all resident for Horus Heresy. Sorry. And you just lost faith. Okay? Everyone remembers that day. That was a hard day, folks. And now we've got a little bit of talk saying, okay, what if a new Fulgrim comes out, but it's plastic? Honestly, from a lore perspective, from a games perspective, I would love this. But Games Workshop is Games Workshop is also a company. If they've already got something over here, they're going to do the lazy thing to save money and just transfer it over.
No.
I think that's what's going to happen.
No.
They did the same thing with the Contemptor Dreadnought.
They're constantly getting rid of Forge World resin stuff.
I know, but why would they release a new Forge World?
Because he's going to be different.
Built different, folks.
No, he's going to be a different dude. And if they even have that $30K Fulgrim on the website, they're going to jack his price up by another $200.
That's fair.
And then if you want to be super fancy, you can play him instead. But no, this will be the 10,000 years in the warp Fulgrim or whatever the heck he's been doing.
The one who is full demonic.
But what I want to talk about here,
what do you want to talk
is
about?
not so much Fulgrim. Fulgrim we know is coming. That's a given. He's coming. Yeah. All right. What else new stuff is going to come in the box? Because you remember when the Lion came out, when Angron came out, there was a box.
Yes.
And it had new stuff.
Which were great.
And I want to talk about what would an Emperor's Children army look like? What would you like to see? And I want to start off by taking a page from the Thousand Sons. The Thousand Sons.
Ooh, didn't see you going there.
Are chaos, just like my guys. And my guys have got Cultist Mob, and they've got Felgor Beastmen. And the Thousand Sons have got the bird dudes or the goat
Zangors.
dudes. The Zangors.
Yeah.
And I want Emperor's Children to have a similar unit of dog and pony people. If you know, you know.
Ew.
Because hey, look, it's not just drugs and rock and roll.
That's fair.
There's a third thing. Yeah,
like some Shalaxi goat people.
I want some Slaneshi like groupies,
crab people,
but they're animals because it's just heinousness, right? So they're animal groupie people guy things, girls,
a little crabby.
Yeah, like a little bit from the Demonette from the Slanesh range. Also, just as an army composition thing, I feel like that because Slanesh as a chaos god is a little bit of a
simp.
Well, no, you could sort of take Slanesh and say that the various attributes of Slanesh could be assigned to Nurgle or Tzeentch or Khorne. They're a little bit of a man without a country while being this catch-all of various excess, right? And I think that to make the Emperor's Children feel like their own thing, you emphasize the Slaneshi demons, who are also a little bit of a man without a country, or a they without a country, as it is, because there's other rumors about demons as an army going away, which I'll believe that when I see it.
Right.
But I
With
think
that win rate?
Yeah, but I think that the Slaaneshi demons should be heavily featured in a number of detachments of the Emperor's Children. So that's my first thing on the wish list is a cult, a chaff type unit that is thematically sensible with them.
I'd like that. Some sort of like Hedonites of Slaanesh.
Well,
something like a cool name like that.
Yeah, they've got those, but that's its own army. But
you've got
whatever
jackals.
They call them.
You've got jackals.
Yeah.
For the corn, and then you've got plague bears for Nurgle, Zangors for Thousand Sons. Well, that would be pretty cool. I'd like that. I agree.
Yeah, I think it'd be neat, and they could be wearing like spiked boots and all sorts of rock and roll stuff. That's my first one. My next thing that I'd like to see is I want to see done away with the upgrade sprue. And this idea came from the homie Austin earlier today.
Yeah.
So right now, if you want to play some Noise Marines, you got to buy upgrade sprues, I believe only for Firstborn. So go find yourself some Firstborn, first of all, and then stick these upgrade sprues on. And then if you want the Noise Marine sort of champion, you got to pay $40 for one of him.
Yeah, which is like, that's wild.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And I think, I want
lore tip, folks, all Chaos Space Marines are still technically Firstborn.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Those old model kits and the ones on my shelf, not the same.
Yeah, they are. They are built different.
All right. So we take away the Noise Marine upgrade sprue, and therefore the Noise Marine's out. Don't anybody leave. I'm coming back to the Noise Marine. What I want to see, though, is a kill team legionary unit. So the legionary kill team for Emperor's Children. So you get all those bits that you can end up with, just like now we've got a Night Lord kill team. We got the legionary kill team with all their extra stuff, so you can have everything in the book represented right there in front of you. That's what I want. Where whatever they got, they'll have the crazy helmets with the mohawks and all that, and you'll get all that in one box. I think that'd be awesome. Now, where does that leave the Noise Marine? They're the entire point, right? I think the Noise Marine gets changed wholesale. He's no longer a Noise Marine.
The champion, you mean? Or just the
whole unit?
Oh, yeah, totally.
He's no longer a Noise Marine. I want, in the Emperor's Children line, Noise Terminators.
Ooh, kind of. Ooh.
You take that big heckin' Terminator armor and add spikes to the shoulders and stuff and make them look like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Better yet,
big,
how they have
chunky boots.
You know how the Terminators have those Cyclone missile turrets on their shoulders sometimes? Speakers.
The homie Austin said the exact same thing.
Say it with me, folks. Built different.
It'd be so cool. And they could have their guitars and all that. And then underneath the guitars, they could have all their big, chunky Terminator weapons, and guys could have those speakers, because the Trader Legions don't even get that stuff. Like all the big missile launchers and all that kind of stuff that you see in the on the good guys,
Loyalist range.
Yeah, on the Loyalist chapters, you don't even get that in Chaos. So I think that there's a ton that they could do there to make another Terminator, which. Who doesn't want more Terminators? It'll be super elite, super awesome. You're still going to have some Emperor's Children type legionary to represent in their masses. And I want to do away with upgrade sprue though. I don't like the upgrade sprue because I feel like it's always too hard to source, and it's prohibitively expensive. No friendly local game store wants to stock that. And it's just, I don't like it. So I think you go there. So we've got a chaff unit.
Yep.
That is the literal dog and pony show. If you know, you know. We've got Legionary, who are just dressed like rock stars.
There you go.
Which is a new thing, which would be a new thing. Yep. Then we've got Noise Terminators, led by Fulgrim. What else goes in the box?
Well, I know what I want.
What do you want?
I want a new character.
you're missing the boat.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
On a box, because I got one more in my pocket.
I know, and I'm ready for it.
So in the box, you're getting Fulgrim, you're getting this Chaff Uni, you're getting your new hotness, and there's a kill team over there.
Yep.
All right. And you want a new character.
Yeah.
So you want a new Lucius the Eternal?
I 100% want Lucius the Eternal.
But a different one.
Yes, because, gosh, that mini looks just terrible. And it's a 25 mil.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with that. New Lucius the Eternal. What about...
Ugly.
What about
I really hope you're going where I want you to go.
A new transport of some kind.
Okay, you weren't.
Which looks like a stage with a big old line array of speakers hanging off it.
What?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Maybe it's a transport. Maybe it's a little bit of both, right? So you throw your Noise Marines in it,
yeah,
and it comes boogieing down.
I like it.
And the model set up where you could like have a couple dudes sitting on top. You know how we like to set our guy on top of the Rhino, say?
Mad Max guitar guy.
Mad Max guitar guy thing.
Yeah, that's a good. I didn't even think of that. That'd be great.
And let's say its weapon can work in some sort of aura, right? So you get like this pulsing effect. So you would be you would be encouraged to do the Slaanesh thing, which is an advance in charge, which would obviously be one of their detachment rules, right? So you'd do your Dark Pack, you'd get sustained or lethal, then your various detachments, because we're assuming this is going to be a codex, supplement. Then one of them is advance in charge, maybe just with vehicles, because the whole idea for that detachment is you take your boogie boxes or whatever we call them, and you advance them into the middle of the table. And then do the boom, 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 like hit him with the you hit him with the dubstep cannon, and then the Noise Marines get out and go to chopping.
Bangarang! I am so thrilled you came up with this. This is a great idea. This might actually happen, because if you think about it, really, all that stuff coming together, it's not quite enough. It's still a little light, a little light in the pockets. And if for Games Workshop, let's admit it, they have not upgraded Chaos vehicles in quite some time. Look at the bikes. They're pretty old school, pretty chunky.
I hate to look at the bikes. I don't like the bikes.
So I would love like a character maybe on a bike, or maybe just some kind of new bike.
I mean, we might get new bikes sometime whenever the white
go with Slaanesh
whenever the White Scars get their thing, we're going to get some new bikes.
But like I was saying, Slaanesh theme is hit fast, hit hard, strike quick, be real squishy, and bikes are, by definition that 40K.
Yeah. I mean, why not? They could put bikes in.
I would love a character like the Chaos version of what a chaplain on bike is for Loyalists. I want that for Chaos now.
I think we've done good work here.
We have.
Do you find me heretical to take away the Noise Marine and turn him into a Noise Terminator?
Yes. No. I think keep Noise Marines, but get rid of the upgrade sprue. That is on point. I freaking hate upgrade sprues.
Well, they're not going to do both. You're not going to get a new Noise Marine kit.
I want it. Okay, it's Forge World resin. Get rid of all Forge World resin. Just throw it away.
Because remember, the second part of it is you end up with Noise Terminators,
and I want that.
See,
that sounds so cool.
If you're going to have one, I feel like that's the thing to have.
That's the thing to have.
Because who doesn't want more Terminators?
Who doesn't? All right, folks. I think we're about low on our time, right? Okay, so I'm going to finish with one last orc bit for our Orktober. Be good, because the Red Gobbo is getting a new mini and a new surprise for you. Revealed recently after Warhammer Day, and I want it.
Love the Red Gobbo every time.
He will come in your house, steal all of your presents on Sanguinalia, and blow up your kitchen.
Here's the other thing. Here at my house, I'll always play your Legend Rules units.
Exactly. Stay fanatical, folks. Peace.